continue the pattern of wearing bright colors in dark days. If I sound somber, and Bitchy knows because she was there this morning, I had to tell her the news. Uh, Jason David Frank, the definitive Ranger. I feel like I'm saying this for every fucking character because we lost the Batman and now we lost the best Power Ranger. And I'm gonna just say Power Ranger because he's had multiple. He was awesome as the Black Ranger. He was awesome as the White Ranger. He took over as the Red Ranger for a bit, and then he was back to being a reborn Green Ranger.
Did you just say when was he the Black Ranger? What did I miss? Black.
Or no, that was the Red Ranger who was the Black Ranger. I think he did
Okay.
take over for a stint though, because something happened. You know how it goes in them shows. Something happens, and or he was a variation of the Black Ranger. They like to swap out the colors now because they got shit for maybe being a little bit racist with their color choices. The first series,
What?
yeah, the Asian was the Yellow Ranger, Billy was the Blue Ranger. The black guy was the Black Ranger.
Black Ranger. Well, yeah, black is black, yellow is yellow. They don't just keep it simple.
So yeah, it was a depressing day. I woke up, I looked at the internet, and I was like, oh shit. Maybe it's Screen Rant. When Screen Rant pops up as a top article, and I see it's on Screen Rant, I'm like, oh no, this is definitely bullshit. And the interesting part about this whole story was his death was not supposed to leak out, but some fucking dickhead that the company had told, which was a friend of the family, had leaked it. So to that motherfucker who leaked the news, you should be fucking hung because you were told in confidence not to be spreading that shit. And family is the fucking worst. Like, dude, fucking, it's sad when a corporation can keep their fucking mouth shut, but some douchebag family member who clearly it's got to be for the press, like, oh, I lost this family member, woe is me, like, what a fucking scumbag. Like, I'm sorry, I don't like that. Isn't that kind of weird? Like, and then the company has to come out and go, oh yeah, it's true, but they wanted to put out their own press thing, find out more about the situation, and then fucking say something. And this fucking dickhead just leaks it on the fucking internet because if you can't fucking not have a movie spoiled, apparently you can't have any fucking personal thing out in the world these days. Because what do people do? They go to their fucking Twitter or their Facebook and they ruin my day. I was happy. I woke up happy. I'm gonna play some Division. I'm gonna fucking rewatch the Star Wars just to get myself freshen up for when we hit these spoilers. And then I wake up to my favorite Ranger being dead. Hello, chat. I'm going here on a tangent, but
Hello, chat. Yes, hello, chat.
this is this I told you guys there's very few deaths that hit me personally, but Robin Williams, Batman, and now we lost my favorite Power Ranger. I almost wanted me to pass away before my fucking heroes, and here we are. I lived through Batman dying and the Green Ranger. What a fucking year! This has been a shitty end of the year. I'm sorry. Like I was coasting through 2022 okay. I got a promotion. Things were good. And then Batman and Power Ranger dies, and it's like, here you go, end of the year. We're gonna make this as shitty as the past fucking 3 years. How are you doing, PB? So we didn't do late night talks because you were hunting for some rabbits, or was it?
Yes, giant rabbits with antlers.
giant rabbits
Look,
with
you're in the
with
same
antlers.
state. I know you're in, a highly populous area, but you're still in the same state. It's deer hunting season. Supposed to be
Yeah, if I
wearing
see
orange, not
you
camo.
around where I am with bright ass orange, I'm fucking running. That's some scary shit. Just see you in the woods. It's like, shh, keep it down. Try to hunt for a rabbit. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Landon. How are you? We have the beautiful, always sexy
Hello,
bitchy
Carrie.
unicorn.
Hello, Landon. Hello, bitchy.
We have lemon pie, our favorite
Hello,
pie.
lemon pie. I wore these colors for you, lemon pie. I know you like the bright colors.
We got the lovely Sherry. Hello. And we have Crummel. Hey, Crummel, it's good to see you. I know with the way that I stream, it's tough to catch my streams.
Dr. Mel, hello, Sherry. Thanks for joining.
So today we will talk Andor. I do have some actual news that I wanted to report
That's
on
a good
Friday.
show. That's a real good show.
And yeah, it's gonna be a good show because we got a lot of good shit to talk about. But I wanted to open up with the Power Rangers thing because I know that Shalena is also a huge Power Ranger
She's not
fan,
even here yet.
and
Kim's
she's not
here.
here.
Hello, Kim.
Hello, Kim. And she, she watches the replay. So, if you catch this later, uh, trust me, I feel the pain, and all the Power Ranger fans really. We had great entertainment, and one of the great things that was on Saturday mornings was fucking Dragon Ball Z, Power Rangers. You had fucking the Beetlebugs one that was the knockoff
Oh,
Power Rangers, but I didn't give a
Beetleborgs?
shit. Yeah,
The
Beetleborgs.
Borgs?
It was kind of
I don't
knockoff
remember.
Power Rangers, but I liked it. You had Batman there for a while when they were doing the 4Kids thing. Uh, and this was a great era of Saturday morning cartoons. We had a great
Well,
era.
apparently it's not just for kids. Unless I'm still just a kid and they've put me into this body.
I mean, we are giant fucking kids.
It's like Shazam style.
Do you have a keyword you yell and you just grow a beard?
No, it's a secret.
So yeah, I wanted to open with that and address it because I know everyone would be like, "Hey, Zod, did you hear?" Yes, I fucking heard about it. I've been trying not to hear about it. I was so depressed I didn't even drink. I just had coffee and sorrow all day. And I played the Division and shot people. And that was pretty much my day. I've been working a lot, if you guys hadn't noticed, which is why we've had to shuffle around some things in the schedule because I have more responsibilities, and being an adult sucks. But here we are. So yeah, it's been a sad week, but we're gonna get away from the sadness. Actually, no, we're not, because this fucking episode of Vandor. So I watched this bullshit today again, and I had forgotten some parts. But this episode of Andor was sad, and I'm just like, why the fuck did I watch this again? So yeah, Green Ranger died, and Andor's this last episode was depressing as shit. So all around, I'm 3 steps away from throwing myself from the top of this fucking building.
It's not that tall of a building, is it?
No, it's not. So I'm just gonna fuck up my knee or something, and then I
That's
still
not
have to
going
go
to
to
be
work.
good. Hello, Carmen.
Hello, Carmen. Good to see you here. But yeah, I, it's been a sad day. But let's talk about let's talk about Andor and just jump right into it because we got a lot to cover today, and I know both you and me work tomorrow,
No,
so
I
that's
don't.
why this is
Working on killing
okay.
more deer.
Okay, you're working on killing more deer, and that's hard
Oh,
work.
yeah. That is hard work sitting there on your ass waiting for something to walk up.
Oh yeah, lots of patience. So far too much for me. I'm just like, can't we just go and like hide it in a snowbank and jump out at it with a knife? Wouldn't that be more efficient, like Rambo style?
Efficient? Absolutely not. High-powered rifles. That's efficient. You think people like join the Marines and they're like, here's a knife, go to war.
I mean, I was given a 9mm Beretta and a knife and told to go to war. Is there really
That's
much of
right.
a
Okay,
difference?
you got a high-powered handgun. That's the 9mm is not massive, but it's no pea shooter.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So, Andor this week, we had a lot of shit go down, and it's weird
We
because
did?
this episode, for me, yes, there was a lot of movement, and I mean from a sense of story where like you got a sense of why. And I watched Rogue One. I'm like still actually in the middle of watching Rogue One, and I'm looking at Saul Guerrero's character going, this explains why this motherfucker is crazy by the time you get to Rogue One. Like, this one moment pretty much the conversation he has solidifies why this motherfucker does not trust anybody at all. And probably one of my favorite scenes that Alexander Skarsgård has done in this show, where he goes to tell, and I'm just jumping to the scene because if you couldn't tell, this is my favorite scene of the episode. But he goes to tell
Oh, here we
Saul
go.
about you know, like, hey, just so you know, you shouldn't send people over to support this guy, and he
Yeah,
was trying to get his help.
you know that thing that I was recruiting you for.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about that. Don't just kind of skip to the next one. It'll be fine.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like,
"You're trying to screw me again? What do you mean? What do you mean? I want part of it. You're gonna pay me. We're gonna do it. We're ready to go.
Oh yeah,
he was
like,
blow some motherfuckers up, and we are gonna get paid." And he's like, "No, you're not."
And man, they have Carrie have you seen Zod? What? Have I seen Zod? I'm right here. What happened to me? Oh, I took a break off of the internet for a couple days for life shit. I've got a cooking job, and I'm getting promoted to the supervising chef, and there's shit that I have to do. And they never tell you these things when you're all eagle-eyed and ready to go, but it's apparently a lot of work away from work. So I've got to look at cleaning lists and shit like that, and I have to stay later a lot of days. I have to work a lot more days, so it's kind of fucked up my schedule, and I'm trying to. Oh, the shaving thing? Yeah, I also have to shave too. If you ever work around a big stove, greasing your beard, not fun.
Oh, it makes you smell delicious, though.
Oh no, you do smell delicious. Like, I'm like, fuck, I want a cheeseburger. I don't know why, and I'm like, ah. So yeah, I shaved. Plus, my face was itchy, and it kind of itched my face in the kitchen one time, and they had to throw everything out. So I said, "Fuck that." I thought it was a little excessive, but there is the whole cross contamination, and you could poison and kill everyone who eats there. So
boo.
yeah, I was like, I just itched my beard because of the chemicals and grease that I'm fucking using, and we had to throw out all of this shit. So I said, nope, I'm going to shave and, try to act professional at work. Not
Right.
here. There's, yeah.
This is where the real professionalism is.
Yeah, this is where our real passion is. Anyways, so we get that scene with Saul, and I thought this was one of the best. It's so hard in this show to pick the best dialogue moments, but I would say this was up
Best
there.
dialogue moment.
I mean, in this episode, yeah, but I mean, across the show, there's been so many good conversations in the show.
Oh, okay.
But he says to him, he goes, Saul says to him, would you sacrifice me? Because he says, Saul's pretty fucking smart, and I like that they show how smart he is besides being crazy. And he's like, oh, so you have a source, and you're basically burning this guy to save your source. And it's like, how many people do you have? Do you have people in my camp? And for once, I was actually there with him, because I was like, yeah, this motherfucker does have spies everywhere. Like, does he have spies in your camp? There's a good possibility he probably does. I we just found out about the Imperial spy, and a man like that, I imagine you would have to have all of these people in there to know if some shit was going down. or
He knows
even for
everything.
oh yeah, I mean even for your allies. See, I don't like it would be shitty, but I would understand putting in spies even in your allies' camps because say they get attacked by surprise, and your spy that you put there sends someone so they can send reinforcements on time. Because Saul doesn't strike me as a motherfucker who would call for help right away. Like he's fucking crazy. So you need like 2 or 3 spies in this camp because my man is just like, and that hair, man, that hair gets me every time. Saul's
The
hair,
hair? Oh, his
yeah,
hair?
yeah, oh man, yeah, like I'm watching Rogue One and I like the bald look a lot better than like the bald look they had in the beginning, better than the fucking wacky hair we got. And I just look at it and I go. It's hilarious. And I don't know what this
He
means.
don't look like he
Bitchy.
sleeps very much.
No, no, he definitely does not. But it's that deception, and I like how here Saul actually kind of has more morals uh than the other dude does. He's like you're gonna just fucking leave someone abandoned and shit like that. And he has to take a laser from one of the guards and threaten him with it and be like, hey, calm down and listen. He goes, are you gonna risk all of these people, keep everybody on alert, and then we can't get shit done? Or do you sacrifice these 30 men and this one captain, I'm getting the sense of, and you keep the operation safe? And on the one hand, he's fucking absolutely 100% right. Like, I mean, when you're waging war and you're doing these skirmishes, you do have to weigh your losses. And unfortunately, that is included in people. And 30 people versus like what? It would have taken him 50, 60 more people to back them up. And there's a chance he loses people trying to save this guy. Like, it makes sense tactically. From an ethical standard, not so much, but there is no ethics in war, right? It's like
Well,
you do what you
they're
have to
not
do to
really
win.
at war at this point. They're really more like terrorists.
I mean, but okay, even if we're
The
going by,
way that they are portraying them, they are acting just like terrorists. They got all these cells all over the place that are semi-connected but not really connected because people working
and you
in
keep
one
going, I just
cell
gotta use the
don't know
bathroom.
what's. Oh my god, we didn't even make it 20 minutes into the show. This guy's already taking a break. Incredible. No, they got the one cell where people there don't know what's going on in the other cell. Nobody ever wants to friggin' talk to anybody. You only got to talk to the guy at the top who knows everything that's going on. He's got spies on the other side so that he knows what's coming from the other way. As far as I can tell, he's the only person in the entire show that knows everything that's going on. Even the people who are funding it, like Mon Mothma, they don't know what's going on. She just handing essentially a blank check over to Skarsgård, and he's like, I'll figure out what to do with this.
And it's really fascinating getting to decide because I like this. I like reframing the good
Bitchy
guys.
said that I look like Santa. This is orange. This is not red.
Ho ho ho, bitch.
Ho, ho, ho.
So
What's up, Kiefer?
I mean, like, it's very interesting, and I like stories like this where you make it because when you're talking about waging a war, right? They haven't exactly gotten to the galactic war because, as we know, that's in New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. That's where you get into the war aspect of the stars. But this is like they are leading skirmishes or the way it's portrayed, really like terrorist operations. And it's interesting because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like they're making the rebellion, which we only ever see in, I guess we see it in 2 movies, but it's still not even really a full blown rebellion in Rogue One, which is weird because like there's a lot of solidification. Is that a word? Sure, let's
yeah,
just fucking go with it.
yeah, that's
It's
totally a word.
between Rogue One and Episode 4, and there's like 20 minutes difference.
which is
Like, it's
which
all
is
just a bunch of ragtag sons of bitches, whereas they're like a full blown army in episode 4. At least that's how they make it seem.
I mean, but even in Rogue One, because I'm rewatching it like now, before we went on, I was just like, man, this episode is so good, I'm going right into Rogue One. So I started watching Rogue One, and even in Rogue One, as opposed to how Andor's got it set up, you can kind of see a military structure. They're more militarized. It looks like they've got like they're heading more into the war, right? Because we know that the actual war doesn't take place until the original Star Wars, and then the actual like major battles happen in Return or The Empire Strikes Back. That's when you get the Hoth battle and all that. Then you're talking about full. The Empire is fighting like you fucking destroyed our main weapon. We're pissed, and now it's a full. They're battling across different solar systems at that point. But in this, you're right, and it's so weird because you can look like, and I'm not defending this kind of a thing because I have my feelings about the Iraq War and everything else like that. But everybody, whoever starts these things, are ultimately terrorists. Even if you go back to the British and American War, right? We were terrorists. We were doing short strikes on British supply lines. We threw their fucking tea in over a boat, right, to make a statement. Everybody, before you get to the war part, it's almost like inciting an incident, and that's what they're doing. They're poking the bear. They're doing these little operations that are actually terrorist operations. And no matter how you frame it, there's still that very gray line. Like, they are
I mean, it
actively
wouldn't
going to.
be like the last episode made me feel like it was just like getting a little more and a little more and a little more, because I was like, oh well, these are like not Bothan spies, but all these people are spies. They're stealing money at the start of the show, then he gets put in prison, so he's stuck with a bunch of prisoners. You don't really see hardly anything going on in the background at that point. And now you see all kinds of stuff, and you're like, yeah, we're just gonna sacrifice these people. It don't matter. And I was like, are you really part of the rebellion, or are you just trying to make a buck? I'm confused. But you gotta go back an episode and remember the entire speech that he gave. And I was like, you must have sacrificed a lot, guy, because that was quite a list. It
I
came
mean,
down to everything.
if this guy is willing to, and you can tell when he has those scenes where he's dealing with the high-end clients, right, on Coruscant. He lives in Coruscant, and I'm just gonna frame that as like the New York of the galaxy because prices must be fucking expensive in, in that planet,
You would
right?
think so.
So you figure in society, this man is well off, right? He probably got a lot of money. He's got people who work with for him. He seems to be connected to that senator. You could tell he's high up on social society, right? So for him, like, yeah, I do believe when he says like, I forgo all of this shit, and yeah, I will sacrifice what must be sacrificed because I do agree. You need that guy. In order to win wars like this, right? You need that person who people will call a scumbag or whatever else. And I got this for uh, doing stuff in special forces is that you're never looked at as the hero. Nobody knows the tons of shit, the people you lost, the fucking nasty ass parts of the countries that you sat in. No one will ever see that, but you know what you're doing for them and what you're giving up so that other people don't have to do what you do. But the truth of the matter is someone has to do it. Someone has to fund the money. Someone has to send people to die. That's the way it is. And someone's got to hold that weight. And like, dude, that is a fucking terrible position to be in. Hey, Sean B, good to see you.
So, Sean,
Welcome to our Andor/news late night talks special. That's what I'm
yes,
going with.
there you
late
go.
night Late night talk special. That's what we'll call it, because we're all special here. Uh, so yeah, it was really interesting seeing this. That poor girl, I always forget her name, but the one who's being fucking tortured. She's probably got like no fucking will left. Andor's not girlfriend, but clearly he has feelings for. Do you remember her name? I always forget it.
Bix?
Yeah, there we go. Bix. So, Bix is having a rough life. Let's talk about.
Oh
She
my
looks like
god.
shit, bro. She looks
Well,
like
she got
shit.
mentally tortured.
I was like, man, Bix needs a hug. And then when that officer just grabbed her, like, I did not expect them to go like that hard on what the Empire's doing. And the fucked up part is they don't really show you anything, but they imply enough. And I'm just like, my goodness, like Andor needs to get back there and fuck these dudes up. That like, I don't know what it was. I was like, man, hashtag free Bix. Like, she's looking rough.
I'm hoping the show continues to stay dark and like people on the good side get killed. Because
yeah.
I mean, if you think of everything that Andor has done, how many good guys has he killed? Zero.
Yeah.
Like
That's
he
true.
killed the one guy that was on his side, but he wasn't a good guy either.
Yeah. Oh no.
He was going to steal all their credits.
And the interesting thing, and the thing that I like, even just watching like this movie and seeing that beginning scene where he kills the spy because he couldn't walk anymore, and I was like, yeah, watching the show, I still get that feeling like he still got that ruthless edge, and yeah, he hasn't killed any good guys, but they've written him in such a way that it still feels like that character that will do what has to be done in the situation, even if it's fucked up and difficult. And I think that the show does a very good job of keeping it in that line. And they do an amazing job of this being really kind of a dark, fucked up story. We find out Mon Mothma is going to go through with basically wedding her daughter off, which I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't
There we
agree
go,
with that
some
shit.
Game of Thrones. What you?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I can
it's
get
not on
behind the
HBO, so
Lannisters.
it's not appropriate.
No, I could get behind the Lannisters and that whole thing. I know it's weird coming from me, but this is my issue with this. It takes fucking years for adults who can be with people, like make that conscious choice to find the right person for them. I don't agree with that bullshit theory of, oh, eventually they'll fall in love. You know, we'll just wed them as kids and then they'll grow together and then blah blah blah. I think that whole thing is fucking garbage. I don't like arranged marriages. I think it's an archaic, fucked up practice. And anybody asked me to wed my
Arranged
daughter
marriages,
to
fucked up. Fucking your twin your entire life, 100% okay.
that gets my approval. What fuck? No,
That's
arranged
fucked up, guy. You're so consistent with your logic.
arranged marriages. I don't know because it feels like, okay. Let me put it into this perspective, right? Jamie and Cersei have a choice, right? Even though technically she was married to Robert, probably at a young age and forced into that, she still made her own choices and decided to bang her brother. Hey, who are we to judge that? You know, whatever. Beautiful people do beautiful things. What can I say? But with an arranged marriage, you are not given an option or a choice. The parents decide because of some classist bullshit that they want to stay in their little high society fucking tea party. So they're gonna fucking their kid who barely is even like making their own life choices. They say, "Oh, you're gonna marry this person. You don't got a fucking choice." And on top of that, too, this just doesn't go for women, but men in that situation as well, too. You know, you don't get to pick the person. You got to be with one person that your parents decide. I don't know. That's just garbage to me. It'd be like you. You know how rebellious was the teenager was. I didn't want people fucking picking my music. Let alone tell me, oh, you gotta marry someone from down the street because they'll be a perfect match. No, I don't like that shit. I think it's a archaic practice, and it's really interesting that they implement it in the future.
In
Like
the future.
these are supposed to be like enlightened people, right? They've moved past the uh, the constraints of what we have in modern society now, but yet they still do rituals that are hundreds of years old. It's really intriguing and kind of weird at the same time that they would still have this practice in the fucking future.
They're not in the future, guy. It's Star Wars. It's not in the future. In fact, it is very much in the past. Have you never read an opening crawl before? I feel like you have. And right before the opening crawl, you know what they put on the screen?
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far
A
away.
long time ago. No, I don't even care about saying it. A long time ago. Which means everything that we watch, all of Star Wars, the entire story from beginning to end, happened in the past from where we are right now.
That's scary because then we devolved.
We
Because
didn't
they have
evolve.
fucking
It's far away.
because they have fucking lightsabers, PB, and I don't see us with a lightsaber because you know we'd be the first ones to get a fucking lightsaber if that shit existed.
I mean, you've seen some of the lightsabers that they've made, right?
Oh yeah, and I've seen rail guns and shit that the military's put out, and it looks
Oh, I
like,
need some railguns, man.
oh man, those
You have
things
an idea how much more ammo you get with railguns? It's
a lot
ridiculous.
more.
Oh my
And,
god.
and your shots are definitely they're not wasted because you know fuck cover, you can shoot right through it. If I,
There ain't no
that
fucking
shit'll
around
go
there.
through brick fucking cement. That's crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, but that's like still not in the open market and basically beta testing. So I mean, like we are years removed from the type of future that they portray in Star Wars. I know it says a long time ago, but I mean, I would think of it then you'd have to do alternate timelines because why are they more technologically advanced than the past? And
Because
here we
they're
are
in
in
a
the future,
faraway
and we don't.
galaxy with all kinds of different aliens.
I've been waiting, PB. I've been fucking waiting, and I said I am not gonna die till I get my first fucking flying car. And where is it, PB? Elon, you're doing all of this shit. Elon, I'm depending on you to make a fucking flying car. Okay?
Huh?
Fuck fuck Twitter and buying them. Can we please get a flying car? That's all I want before I die. A fucking fly get get all the scumbags of the corporate world together and make it happen. Take all your fucking billions of dollars and just make me a prototype flying car. Please. That's all I want. Be like the fucking Jensens, but then again, then you got to worry about drunk drivers fucking crashing into planes. So yeah, Shadabi did say a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Exactly. Thank you.
But yeah, we got that whole thing going. So I don't know how I feel about Mon Mothma now. I get why she's doing it, but it just seems kind of scummy for me. Maybe that's my bias as a parent. I would never fucking betroth my daughter to someone, but I guess that's just fucking me. Um, as villainous as I am, I just couldn't see myself, betrothing her to someone from the House of L, because fuck Superman. I mean, yeah, so I was a little mixed about that. The cousin getting bold. She walks right into Skarsgård's shop, and I gotta say, I'm liking her more and more. Like, I like the
I
big.
keep forgetting. I keep forgetting who she is because she looks so different from when the show started. When she's
Yeah, when
living
she had
on a
that dirt,
fucking
I was
hill
like,
in a tent.
wow. Like, she's like, I was like, wow, you look good when you're all dressed up and not in a fucking ghillie suit and dirt on your face. She just comes in and she tells Skarsgård right hand lady like, "Hey, I got some important information. Stop bullshitting with the trying to find a perfect spot to talk or whatever." And I like the curator's response because she was kind of badass too. She was like, "Look, what do I do? I'm the one who deals with 100 fucking people like you who come into this shop and just start shit." So, and I like that little exchange. I thought it was, I thought it was an interesting little back and forth because I'm gonna be honest. When she said what she said, I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck does this lady do?" Like I
Yeah,
see her in the
maybe
scenes.
get the fuck out of here, you peon.
I
Like
like
you're at the
the
level of people we're gonna sacrifice in the last episode. I mean, unless we're not gonna get to see that, which is gonna be a little disappointing if they just kind of like, yeah, we had other things to take care of. And I was like, okay, well, if you have other things to take care of, can I please get more scenes with B in it?
oh, let's talk. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie.
my god,
This
I'm gonna fucking cry again.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
that
never thought.
motherfucker made me cry twice episode.
I'm not gonna lie. I got the little once a year tear when he was asking for
Oh,
her, and I'm
I
like,
want Marva. I
and
was
I was
like, oh
saying,
my god.
how is a droid out acting most of the people who act
Most
in
of
these
the
movies I've
cast,
seen?
because not
Yeah,
all of the cast.
like this droid.
He's bringing just as much emotion to the scenes that he is in as anyone else is. That's true.
And it's crazy because this droid is just a disembodied voice. There's no facial expressions, no nothing. But yet, when he talks and you see when he does that little thing,
Oh my god.
and you're just like, your heart is breaking because you're like, this droid just lost Andor, his bestest buddy, who would go on wacky adventures with him, and he lost essentially his mother figure. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, writing is good when they can have you in tears from a fucking robot that can't emote. Like
Oh, he emote.
are these writers should be writing more Star Wars projects because they get it. Like we all loved the droid when it was introduced, but we never knew that the droid would give like an Oscar worthy fucking
Oh
performance.
my god, yeah.
It's just like
Like, okay, so what it was the previous episode or one before with the hallway scene?
I think it was
I want to say it was the previous episode.
yeah, it was the previous episode.
Okay, so he does that scene, and I was like, oh yeah, you can feel unless you're not paying attention. I guess you could not be paying attention. Be like, it was crap. Worst hallway scene I ever seen in Star Wars, and I'd be like, well, the other ones have the advantage of having a lightsaber in them, and he didn't have a fucking lightsaber, and you could still feel the emotion. God damn it!
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
for the minimal amount of screen time that they give B, I felt where he's coming from. I was like, oh my God, guy. Like it ran down my face. I couldn't believe it. I was like, God damn. God
And
damn.
then he
And
goes,
then they come back in the episode and I don't remember who the guy is. I never remember his name.
yeah,
They're
I
like the
don't remember
junker
him either.
guy or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he's in the house. He's like, hey, I'm going home. You can't stay here alone. She wouldn't want that. And he goes, you could stay. And
I was like, come on,
the
guy,
guy
you can't
fucking looks
refuse that.
around and he looks back at him and he goes, one night. And then he wheels out of his little charging port. And I was like, you made
And he
his
was like,
fucking day. Yeah, I've never seen a more sad droid in my life. And you perked him right up.
I
He's
know
like,
that made
yeah,
me.
he's staying with me. Oh my God. It was
I
so
was.
goddamn beautiful.
It was. And this is what I mean. Like in this show, yeah,
This is one of the first droids that isn't in pretty much every scene that they're in a smartass. Because all of the rest of the droids are pretty much smartasses to some degree, some a little more than others. Like Chopper is a much bigger smartass than BB-8 is.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And then
Chopper's a prick at times.
C-3PO, he's like an incidental smartass because he's doing everything the proper way. So he's not like taking any nuance with it. And then, R2D2 is like a prankster. We're supposed to be going up, R2. Oh, I got you guys. I got you. Just want to see if
Yeah.
you're paying attention.
And
But
then you
this
got
new
this
one,
droid.
he might be my favorite.
I mean,
He
I
might
was
be my
watching
favorite droid in all
KOS
of Star
one
Wars.
and
K2SL.
or K2S. Wow, KRS. Well, where did I get that from?
I don't fucking
K2SO.
know. Stop giving away classified secrets. Making stuff
and
up.
and I'm listening to him, and he's just an asshole. Like, like he was like when they showed that scene, and she let and Andor let uh, Jane Uso or so keep her pistol, and she goes, "Oh, you know she's gonna shoot us with that, right? There's a high probability," and he he just doesn't say anything, and he goes, "There's a very high probability." I was like, and I was chuckling, going, "Yep, yeah, that's true." Uh, and just the way he's kind of like he's always snarky, like from the first fucking time, and like it throws you off because he's like, "Hey, I'm a reprogrammed security droid. How are you?" And I don't like you, and Andor didn't want you on this mission, and neither do I. Like, I was like, yeah, he's brutally honest. And it was like, god damn, like that droid's a bit of a prick. But this droid is very much like just uh I don't know. He's got his own little quirks, but he's got so much character for an android. It's really weird, and you feel that emotion and like how he's trying his best to like serve all the people he's close to, and then he loses someone, and it's just like, wow, man, like, and that raises an interesting question, like, what do you do as a droid when the two people you were like supposed to be serving, they're one's dead and one's gone, and that's all he's known his whole life is to be a good companion to these people. It's actually really fucking touching and sad, and it got me in the fucking feels. Like I didn't know I was gonna get emotional over a fucking robot, but here we are. So good job, show. Um, but they're doing so many good things. I think still, I don't know about you, but probably my one complaint still is we're getting close to the end. We need some kind of big epic like they've done so good. This show should end on an epic battle, and I think now this is just my
I'd hope so,
hypothesis.
because this was the best scene. This was the best scene of the show. Like, I like the scene with him talking to Saw, but him being what you would assume is entirely trapped and screwed over, and now he's going to be captured, to kicking ass all on his own. Oh my god!
Oh man, so let's talk.
Being
This
a
was,
smart ass on the radio at the same time,
dude. This was
having
one of.
having a conversation with the freaking AI, being charming. I was like, Jesus Christ, guy! How many things are you
Like,
trying to do in one scene here? Because this is amazing.
this guy is such a great underrated actor. I've seen him in so many movies, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I think this is probably one of his best performances that I've seen. And we get finally a proper little space battle here, because the Andor escape wasn't really a battle per se. It was just them trying to get the fuck out of the heist. But this felt like a little bit of a dogfight, and I was like, okay, so I'm like, he's a badass, and I know he wasn't gonna get captured, but the way he got out, I did not expect that whatsoever, because that craft does not look fucking intimidating until it looks intimidating. Like when he turned the things to the side and he had the fucking lasers and he flies through the two
Oh,
TIE
that was
fighters.
cool.
Uh,
You know what that
I
reminded me of? That reminded me of an Iron Man move right there.
I wasn't thinking about that, but now I'm thinking it reminds me of
Yeah.
something.
They just
Like,
upscaled it to an entire fucking ship instead of a little wrist or hand thing or whatever those things are.
like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. That was probably one of my favorite space battles in recent Star Wars. Like anything. Like I really I like the whole setup. I like how he easily, like, how many times have we seen people escape tractor beams? Normally they try to avoid them because they're like, oh man, we're fucked. But when he was like charging up that thing, and I go, what is he gonna, like? I thought he was gonna, like, it was gonna boost his ship to do, the hyperspace jump. But when he
Well, that's what I
fucking,
thought was going to happen. I thought he was
that's what
just
I
jumping
thought.
straight into hyperspace. That's what I thought was going on. And then he hits the gap, and they're like, "Is he trying to get away?" And I was like, "I thought he was. What
That's
the
what I
fuck is
thought
going
too.
on?" I was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! He is getting captured. God damn it!"
That's what I thought too. And then he shoots that weapon. And even then, they're like, who is this guy? He's not an ordinary junker, because that tech is obviously way above what most
Oh yeah.
normal people would have on their ships. And then he just like turns around. And you know what? He didn't have to take out those TIE fighters. I felt like that was a total like flex, because he was like, oh yeah, I'll fuck up your ship and I'll take out the two people that you sent to get me, and then I'll jump out and let you just sit on that. Because the guy's just standing there in the window, like.
Well, then as he's doing it, like when you know what needs to be done going into the scene, and the scene is so well put together and acted that you forget what needs to be done because both of us knew that you have to calculate the hyperspace jump before you do it. And
Yep.
we thought that he was just going to go right away. And then as soon as the little AI thing or, onboard computer says hyperspace calculator, I was like, oh, fuck, we were doing that the whole time. Shit, I forgot. I was too busy watching you kick ass.
I honestly believe if he was like, and then when the scene was going, I thought he was gonna just fucking go right towards the fucking Star Destroyer and attack it.
Yeah, for a
And
moment
I'm
there, I
like,
thought he was going to take out the Star Destroyer, and I was like, I don't know what weapon you got for that guy. It's
yeah,
going to take some doing.
but no, he just crippled them enough so that they couldn't give a good chase. And it was all so tactical, and it really shows like this man is like 20 steps ahead of every fucking thing.
Did you put the link in the fandom zone chat? I didn't even check. I just came directly here because, that's how I do
Oh
it.
shit, I forgot to do that.
I don't think he watches the show anyway, so it's okay. He wouldn't necessarily have to be here for this part of it. At least he didn't watch this show yet.
Yeah,
Which I
so
don't know how. I don't know how. Like I'm telling you, if they do what they did in The Mandalorian at the end of season 1, and he cuts himself out of the freaking TIE fighter with the dark saber, I was like, oh, fucking lightsaber. If somebody turns a lightsaber on in this season finale, best fucking Star Wars show.
yeah, it's pretty close for me. I just need that epic final.
At least for one season. Like, you tell me another entire season of any Star Wars show that you like as much as this one season. Like, I'll even let you use the Clone Wars seasons.
Shit, I mean, if we're going off of first season, even Clone Wars was kind of rough that first season because they really didn't have a focus. It was all just
No, I'm
little
saying
stories.
pick any season. Like, pick the season with Darth Maul and Savage.
Yeah,
I would say
that
that's
was.
the best season of Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
Yep, because you don't get to see the Emperor kill a bunch of motherfuckers or kill any motherfuckers in that show until that point. I was like, oh damn. But comparing that to this,
and just seeing him like fuck them up, the two most badass characters in Star Wars, I would say in that time period, like at their peak, and neither of them, he was just like toying with them that whole fight. He like, and it's so clear how badly he beats them. Like he could have won that at any time that he chose, at any moment, and he's just like, nah, I'll do your little, I'll do a little duel with you, give you guys a chance, and they couldn't even fucking touch him. And even that, I'd say this so far for me is one of the best Star Wars products we've gotten in years, since George's day. Like, to me, these writers get it. It's a very rare thing, but they understand this universe and they do their own thing without fucking up canon. There's nothing in here that I've seen, I don't know about you, that breaks lore or is so fucking ridiculous. You like, oh, that could, like, hyper jumping into a fucking
Well, yeah,
ship.
because what I thought that he was, I didn't know exactly what I thought. There was going to be some extra boost, and he was just going to pull out of the tractor beam. I didn't realize he was going to fire something reverse at the tractor beam, and then it's too late at that point because you're sucking everything in. You're fucked.
Yeah, yeah. It was so, that scene is so cleverly put together, and it shows the level of care, because they could have did some bullshit to write themselves out of that scene, or they could have went the route that we thought and been like, oh, he got just enough power and time to escape. But no, they take that scene and they elevate it, and then they use his amazing acting to make it even more intense and more like a holy shit. And he didn't have to destroy those TIE fighters, but that was a little fucking bonus. We got to see more cool shit, and it just makes that whole scene like really fucking great. And to be honest, we need a little bit of a battle thing, a little intensity. And then the last scene, my God, so many good emotional moments. That shit with Andor was heartbreaking. That just made me love Andor like 20 times more. I was like, damn, bro, like, wait.
Bruh, your mom died.
And I was like, oh man, like, and his look. And just when he's like, nah, everything's okay, and then they focus in at the end on his face and that sad, fucking depressing look, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, they're going for the feels in this episode, like emotional punch in the gut after emotional punch in the gut. I was just like, and it raises that question: is he gonna go back and fall for that trap? Is he gonna say, well, I don't have nothing to go back home to, so I'm just gonna go to the rebellion right away? Because remember, the prisoner guy was like, we need to tell somebody what's going on. People need to know. And I really like that guy too, and we just fucking met him. Like, there has not been a character in this show I've met that I didn't like, unless the show wanted me not to like them. And even the bad guys are very interesting. This is just such a well-crafted show. Every character you want to know more about. Side characters are fucking so well done that you don't want to see them die. Because, even in Game of Thrones, right, PB, we could always pick out that person and go, oh, that motherfucker's dying in the next episode. Like, he's talking shit. Just the way they're written, you could always tell that guy who's going to be killed off, and you're going to kind of be happy. Like, look at Joffrey, that little motherfucker. God, people waited for him to die. They were like, is this the season we're going to finally kill Joffrey off?
Oh, see, I thought because I didn't know how any of the books went. I was like, this kid's gonna survive. How'd this kid survive already? He's blonde. I know how hair works in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I don't know. There's some race shit going on. The blonde motherfuckers always.
Well, the way that I understand it, you get the hair of your father. That's pretty much how it works in Game of Thrones.
11.5 says if George was running it, Jar Jar would be key to it all in Andor.
Oh, that'd be great. He's still a senator, isn't he? Isn't he a senator at this point, or no?
Yeah, I believe he was
made
a senator.
A senator. Like, Naboo still exists.
Hey, Kim. Cheers. We never play nice here.
I thought that we said. Is she saying goodbye? Or she's saying hello? So. Like, cheers is like aloha, and I thought that we said hello to her already, so it makes me feel like she's saying bye now. I'm not sure.
And Landon says, such a chill stream, and I'm loving it. Now we're glad because
Goddamn right.
we're we aren't always angry here on the channel, despite what people think. Like, I have my happy moments. I like this show. PB likes the show. But really,
If
I
they're gonna
mean,
give us good stuff, what is there to be upset about? I'm upset that they're making a droid depressed. That's what I'm upset about.
yeah, that was like, I hope that droid gets some kind of nomination. Can we nominate CGI characters? Can we get
I don't see why you
voice
couldn't.
actors, right? can, can we give that guy an award? Like, God, I've been on such a roll. I just recently watched
Well,
the
like you said,
menu.
it's not just the voice acting; it's also the movements and the sound effects, how they go together.
Oh yeah, they need some kind of thing. Oh, and let me just say really quick, I'm gonna be doing a review on with Bitchy because I promised her, but we're going to do another just bitching finally, and we're going to do it on the menu. And I gotta say, if anybody has ever worked in the service industry, you need to go and see this movie. This movie is such a fuck you to all of those inconsiderate pricks that come into the stores and come into restaurants and shit and just think that you're a fucking slave who serves at their whims. And I don't want to spoil it. We're gonna do a spoiler breakdown on our review, but I will say, uh, it's spoiler alert. It's my number one this year so far. My top 10. I'm sorry, Nick got dethroned, but it's the menu. The menu is the best movie I've seen this year. The ending was so satisfying. I yelled in the theater. I don't know if Bitchy is still here, but she can attest to that. I was like, "Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Who's this director? I'm sending him fucking flowers. Fuck yeah! That's how you fucking do it." This movie. And I'll tell you, it's so in the way it delivers what it's saying. Bitchy went to clean the theaters and nobody left a mess after coming out of this movie. So I'm just gonna tell you, it's not really a horror movie. It's more of a thriller, horror kind of thing. But let me just say, uh, you definitely, if you have had poor experiences in customer service, go and see this movie. The ending will make you fucking cheer. It was, and like me being a cook, and the movie's about cooking, and the shitty fucking shit that people do, who are the critics, food critics, and customers who think that they're fucking entitled just because they've been to your restaurant for so many years and now they get peripheral treatment and all this bullshit. I just love it. Very much says a lot about the food industry and the way these people are and the way they treat cooks. And I think everyone should see this fucking movie because it is fucking wild. It is wild. And what's
How the
his name?
fuck did we get talking about this?
So yeah, I'm sorry. I just good acting, and then it popped into my head. Go see this fucking movie. It's definitely a strong contender. I don't know if another movie will dethrone it as number
Oh,
one, but my top
no
10 list is
sleeping,
gonna be
Landon. No sleeping.
up.
No sleep for you.
I haven't watched anything Star Wars related since The Rise of Skywalker. You should watch Andor. Everybody should, if you like Star Wars, if
It's
you are a
not
fan
made
of
by
Star Wars.
JJ or Ryan. I mean, you gotta lay the blame someplace. And if you're gonna say, well, those movies are Kathy's fault, okay? Do you like The Mandalorian? Because there's a lot of people out there that like The Mandalorian that hate The Last Jedi. Guess who was in charge of that too? Kathy. She's in charge of all of it. So you can't let somebody off the hook at one point and be like, oh, well, it's actually, Favreau and Filoni. I was like, who signs a check? Who
Yeah.
signs the check? I'm not saying that she ain't done stuff wrong, but you got to admit when she does stuff right, like Andor.
Andor is fucking amazing. And Kara said, I saw the menu trailer. I'd watch it for Ralph Fiennes, who's amazing in the movie, by the way. He's what Gordon Ramsay would be if he snapped and decided he was going to kill people. But from what I've seen, it's not horror. it's not a better horror movies exist. No, it is. I don't want to give anything away. There is horror elements in it, and it is especially the last half of the movie. There is some fucked up shit that proceeds, but I would think of it more of a thriller, um, like satire. There's a lot of humor in it that, and especially if you're in customer service or you're in the food industry, you will laugh because a lot of what they are talking about is specifically targeted for those people, so you get the humor. But there's jokes for everyone. Like there were people laughing and then people who were dead silent in my theater when certain scenes happen. And when the shit goes down at the last half, and Ralph Fiennes is a fucking amazing actor. Like he is, he should get an award for his performance in this movie. He is terrifying and funny all at this fucking same time. Like he could be telling a joke and then scare the shit out of you in the next scene. It was just amazing stuff. Yeah, I loved him in Red Dragon too. That's what I was saying. It was good to see him play a character like that. But yeah, definitely go check it out. So Andor, definitely check it out. We love it. Let's go to our favorite scenes and then our overall ranking and our least favorite scene and all of that. So first, we'll start with what was your favorite scene? I already know, but because it's probably
Well, I mean, the space. We'll just call it the space battle. Easily.
like, yeah, I'm there with you, hands down.
Like, if they would have had B driving the spaceship, then
10
that
out of
would have
10.
been epic. But he don't drive the spaceship.
No,
I
no,
still give
but
it 10. No, that scene is a 10. That scene is a 10.
oh, without a doubt, just the way they, I hate to use this, subvert your expectations of what's going to happen. You know, it's really good. Horror movies that take too long to get to the horror, I stay away from. Oh no, this movie is a brisk hour and 47 minutes, and it doesn't fuck around. There's like 20 minutes setting stuff up, and it's not boring because there's funny shit that happens. And Anna Taylor Joy, oh, she's so fucking hot. Goddamn. Anyways,
Who?
Anna Taylor Joy.
Never heard of this person in my life. I don't even know
Oh
how to
my
spell
God, you
that.
have. You just don't recognize the name. She was in Queen's Gambit. Uh,
The main character?
yeah, she was the queen.
Oh. Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched The Queen's Gambit. It was pretty good, but
she
I thought there
is.
was going to be more, and then there wasn't.
She is phenomenal. Hold on, I just want to bring this up here. Let's just says, it's to jog your memory, and definitely not so I can look at the pictures. Like, and she's a redhead, PV. She's doing your peeps proud.
None of those pictures. Who are these people? This all the same person?
Yes,
Then how can you say she's a redhead? She got every fucking color under the sun. She doesn't even look the same from the TV show.
no,
Keep your
and
pants on, guy.
I'm all right with that. That was when she went blonde for One Night in Soho.
How do you? Oh my god! I don't want to know how you know that.
That
That is such a strange thing to know about any celebrity. Like, oh yeah, this is from that one night. It's like, huh? What? No, I'm not. I'm not going to ask
yes.
questions because if I ask you questions, you're going to say stuff back to me.
Zod, have you watched Barbarian? Yes, yes. Me and Bitchy both love that movie. That's gonna be in my top 10 as well. I did a horror list separate to keep so many horror movies out of my top 10 because horror has just been the best genre this year. But I do have some surprises in there, and I probably have a controversial pick that I don't know how people are gonna feel, but it'll be the only Marvel movie in my top 10, and it'll be in the low tens. But yeah, that should be fun to see the responses for that. Because oh my god, talking about the movie is fucking like a minefield. Zoe, hello.
Hello, Zoe.
Welcome to our talk on Andor, one of the best shows out there that is not being watched. And also, we're doing some news updates and acting wacky. So, welcome. We were talking about Hannah Taylor Joy, who I do not have an obsession about. Uh, yeah, Nope. I thought was great as well because Nope
Nope.
was it was a really good movie, but I didn't think it was fair to put it in my end of the year top 10 list because it is sci-fi kind of horror, but I don't want to make my list just horror movies. I want to highlight other movies as well. That's why I did that separate horror list.
Speaking of highlighting stuff, have you ever seen Zoe before? Like
No, I
here
have
in the
not.
fandom zone?
No, I haven't.
Oh, Zoe, if you got friends and enemies, you should share the stream with them and bring them in too. And then after you all get here, you hit subscribe at the same time. There, YouTube stuff done.
Yeah. And this
I
is a
fucking hate
very
doing the YouTube stuff. Instead of doing YouTube stuff, you know what I would much rather do?
what?
I'll tell you after we're done talking about Andor. Because that's when you're supposed to slip the ads in.
So let's go.
No, I set up a segue there and everything. Just red herring people.
So we went with our favorite scene, which was we both agreed space battle, hands down, 10 out of 10. What was our least favorite scene?
Well, I mean, what do you mean by least favorite? Like, you think that it could have been cut, or you think that it was acted poorly, or
Just out of everything, you were like,
okay,
this
well,
was
if we're gonna go
anything.
like that, because what I was gonna say initially, I was gonna say, well, pick one of the scenes with B, like those ones hurt me the most, like emotionally. But I would say though the worst scene that you could have cut it from the entire episode when they're standing on the beach and the other former inmate is like, we have to tell people. We gotta get out there and tell people. What if we're the only two that survived? We have to carry the torch. And I was like, no shit. Why
At
would
the
you
same
not be
time,
going out there like, ain't nobody gonna fucking believe you? But you gotta go and tell people because no shit, you gotta go fucking tell people what just happened.
I mean,
They
yeah,
killed
I
a bunch
get
of
it.
prisoners they were gonna release next month.
Like, yeah, I get it. That scene you don't need, but once again, wasn't bad acting. I mean, it was acted fairly well, especially not the whole we have to tell people, but the little hug thing they do where they've made friends. Maybe we'll see this guy as an alliance. Maybe Andor will be like, hey, this rebellion thing's happening. You said we gotta tell people. Why don't we do something about it?
What's up, Q's Queen? What's up, Cutie
Hey, Q's
Chow?
Queen. You can check the beginning of the
And
stream.
Keely Chow.
I did give a shout out to our lost Green Ranger, and I was sad about it. I gave a whole rant. You could check out.
When you say
Because I
lost
don't.
like that, it makes it sound like he's just in some kind of shattered dimension.
That was a good play. That was a good play.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to be depressed again because we were also talking about depressing Star Wars scenes. So we're trying to keep it upbeat, man. I don't want to feel feelings anymore. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that they needed to highlight that. I think you could have left that kind of like, yeah,
Or they could
you
have
should
had it as
probably tell people about the illegal
have
imprisonment.
it be slightly different and be like you could have had. Oh, what if we're the only two that survive? Like this guy having some realization or something like that. But to drag it out to be like, dude, I'm gonna go tell people. You must also tell people. What the fuck do you think he was gonna do? You think he was just gonna keep that information to himself?
And I think that really drives the point home about him picking a side. You know, he's been on the fence this whole time, but then the whole being falsely imprisoned thing, and he's like, I think this is the point where he's like, and his mom died. He's like, yeah, it's time to go fuck some people up. So I'm hoping this leads to either one of two things, and we'll go into predictions before we give our final ranking. I think they're going to end with that failed thing from the general guy, and that somebody's going to come and save him. And I think it's going to be Andor.
Whoa. Say that again.
I think that Andor is going to help out that guy who's basically going to his death right now, because they keep on bringing up this operation, and there's got to be a reason. And I refuse to be like, oh yeah, he died off screen.
Anto Krieger.
Yeah, I think.
Pretty sure he's the one that's going to lead this operation. Maybe not.
I think that maybe Andor's gonna stumble into it, or maybe, you know, the dude's gonna be like, "Hey, we can't send any forces, or it'll look suspicious." But the Empire is already looking for you, and it wouldn't be crazy if you just happen to, go in there and pull this guy out or save these people. Because Andor is kind of like that guy they can use.
No,
Because
I think he's gonna show up and either figure out what's going on, or he's going to overhear something, or he's going to have an antagonistic conversation. I don't know how he's going to get the information, but he is going to get the information that they're doing an attack, and he's going to come up with some other side scheme to either prevent them from going or saving them while they're there by doing, let's say, essentially an EMP attack on the base to disable all of the Imperial forces that are going to be there.
And if you did something like that, they could write it off as one of their people fucked up, right? Because they're obviously going to double their forces and take this guy in. So if you go like, oh yeah, then they wouldn't know where the fuck up was, and it kind of keeps everybody safe, because then you could just say in the operation someone fucked up and they dropped an EMP bomb, and the rebels got away.
Can I tell you what I'd really like to happen? Which ain't gonna happen. Which I know it won't happen because I really want it to. So everything plays out the way that we assume it's going to play out from what we've heard in the episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to steal shit, right?
Yep,
they're trying to steal shit. You know who else tries to steal shit?
Han
Smugglers.
Solo. Oh yeah, Han Solo.
I wasn't that. No. Fuck Han Solo. I don't want to see Han Solo. I want to see Hondo.
Oh, recruit.
Like he shows up in the middle and is like, "Oh, we're gonna snake this right from underneath you."
Oh my god, like, that would be.
And then they'll be like, "Oh, now everyone's attacking the pirates," and then everyone gets away.
And that would be the perfect cover, because you could just be like, well, of course we didn't account for pirates being here, right? You can't account for like a pirate showing up and it's an opportunity, still from both sides.
I know there was at least a couple times in the Clone Wars where he just shows up out of nowhere when some other operation is going on.
Yeah.
Throw a fucking monkey wrench in the goddamn system and be like, okay, everybody bail out. There's pirates here.
Yeah, I totally, and that would be so cool, because we would get to see our boy. If you guys haven't been following us or don't know about the channel, click that subscribe button. But anyways, it would be a good way to bring in Hondo and have it make sense.
Dude, he is one of the rare people who has, I would call it, a prominent role in the Clone Wars that we have yet to see in anything. And he don't die in the Clone Wars, and he's an alien. So
and he didn't die in
aliens
Rebels.
Live longer than Typically, aliens live longer than humans do in the Star Wars galaxy. So I assume he's still alive. I mean, we saw freaking Cad Bane, and that's another 10, 15 years in the future. Give me some fucking Hondo.
I know, man. Hashtag justice for Hondo.
Yes.
Speaking of justice, That oh wait, ah man, that would have been a great segue if we didn't have to do this part. Whilst I use the bathroom because I drank a shit ton of coffee, tell us, what is your rating and why?
And why? Oh my god. You ain't gonna ask me why. It's not like pulling teeth over here. So, thinking about everything that happened, all the beats that they hit, definitely gonna have to go with a 9 for the entire episode. I could have went up to a 9.5 if there would have, not had that scene where you need to tell everybody, shut up, inmate number 2108. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to tell everybody anyways. I didn't need you telling me to tell everybody. So cut that scene out of there. Then you could have made it a 9.5. But everything else, like, this is a great episode. Great episode. It's some premium TV.
Okay, so first off,
That's terrifying.
Sierra says hi. She's with me right now. Hello.
Do you know who that is now?
I have no clue still. I'm gonna assume it's a friend of my daughter's, but hi, how are you? Thank you for being on my channel. Yeah.
Friends and enemies.
Friends and enemies. Tell everyone. And number 2, I'm going to go a little bit higher than you on this one. I'm going to give it the 9.5. I deducted because of that scene, but it didn't bring it down as much as it did for you. For me, it brought it down like that 0.5. I do agree with you, though. I think it's an unnecessary scene in an episode that had so much strong writing. It felt just a tad bit out of place. And I think that's the problem with a show like this that does such great writing, that those moments where they put something in they shouldn't really stick out a lot because the writing is so great around it that I feel like when they mess up and they put in a little bit too much, you know what I mean? Like they add that extra oomph you didn't really need. It does take away from the rest of the story because it's like you said, and I felt the same way. It's like, shut up, guy. Okay, we know you. He's obviously going to go and tell people. Like he'd come out and go, well, I think I'm just gonna go and go back home and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, like that sucked. We need to like go and here's money and a blaster. And he's all like, but you gotta tell people. It's like, dude, I didn't give you a blaster so we could just like not do nothing. Is like pretty implied. Like, yeah, stay safe and we'll tell someone about this stuff going on. So yeah, like yeah,
We'll tell someone.
We'll tell someone. Like, calm down, guy. Come on, like you don't need to get up in arms. We're doing something. Like that guy was a little bit too eager, but other than that, it really doesn't bring it down that much for me because everything else was so interesting. I'm just hoping.
Dude, it seemed okay. So they saved all of the action for the space battle. Like in the other episodes, they'd have it sporadically placed throughout the episode, or they wouldn't have any at all. They saved all that up for the end, except that everything else in the episode has a purpose.
Yeah, very true. Planet Q's Queen, have a good evening. Says she's going to log off now. Have a good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, thanks for being here. We'll all be crying ourselves to sleep later.
Yes. Speaking of crying, we're going to be also crying with laughter because we have to talk about somebody now that we've done our rating. Highlight star asterisk, go watch Andor. I think it's pretty clear by how we talk about it. But let's talk about someone else.
Let's talk about something else. That's correct. And the something else is moviepalette.com. You son of a bitch. That's not moviepalette.com.
Go ahead.
Oh, if you like movies and you like artwork, there's no better way to combine your two hobbies than with moviepalette.com. Put in code Zone 15, right? Zone
Yep.
15 to save 15% on their already wonderful deals. That's moviepalette.com for the greatest artwork from the greatest movies in all of history. Not guaranteed
Thank
to
you.
arrive before Christmas.
And thank you, moviepalette.com, for sponsoring the channel. We appreciate it. And Nitro Gal, long time no talk to
What's up,
as
Nitro
well.
Scale?
We went on a little bit earlier tonight to talk Andor, but I had a few spicy topics that I wanted to
Oh,
kick around.
god damn, this guy.
We're back. We're back. So what is Alec Baldwin doing? Folks, if this story couldn't get any better, I was actually joyous to report this. I couldn't on Friday, but Alec Baldwin's choice to sue Rust crew members is a risky strategy. So Alec Baldwin's defense. This fucking guy. So he shoots someone, essentially gets away with it, right? So what's the next logical thing to do, PB? You're going to sue the people who accused you of being negligent, even though you're a fucking producer and director and every other fucking title that you can give your narcissistic ass on 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 this movie. You've given yourself every high ranking title you can, and someone dies on your watch because of really piss poor safety and regulations. You decide your best counter strategy is to sue the people who are right about how negligent the set of this movie was.
I mean, what I don't understand, I was like, okay, he's going to sue the Rust crew members. So is that literally only people that are behind the camera? And at what point does he cut it off? He's like, well, I wanted to do everybody, but they told me not to go after the Bagel Consortium.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, Alec. That's a battle you won't win.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going to make that joke. That was a terrible joke. We'll keep that one in the hopper.
So
It was
there's
dark and mean.
So Alec Baldwin has launched his own legal action against members of the Rust crew who he says are culpable in the accidental death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
Zoom in.
So he is apparently going after members he feels that are responsible. But you know the irony in this, PB? The fucking irony is that the one person who should be sued or go to jail is suing the people that are supposedly responsible. Like, me and you have gone over this since this story has come out, right? Numerous times have we said, we don't just throw it on Alec Baldwin as those dumbasses who commented in the comments on our video say, oh, you're just taking this out on Alec. No, I blame the fucking armorer. I blame Alec Baldwin. I blame the producer who got shot because he fucking knew. And I'm sorry he got shot, but he's still responsible. No, I blame multiple people. But for this arrogant prick to come out and say he's suing cast members.
What the bullet went through her and hit somebody else in the arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, I mean, I blame the people who were irresponsible in the handling of weapons, but also this is a clear strategy for Alec Baldwin to not take any fucking responsibility. Because now,
well, hold on, I mean, I guess that's the way to put it, but it feels like he's doing it so that he can have the sheet of paper saying, well, I'm clear, I didn't do anything wrong there, you can still hire me.
like
no, I don't want to.
Like, we talk a lot about a lot of scumbags, but to me,
fucking murdered somebody and you've seen zero consequences.
Like,
zero.
This guy, he
didn't even have to pay a fine for, like, I don't know, unlawfully
reckless endangerment.
Right, reckless endangerment, anything. unlawful
manslaughter,
discharge of a weapon, like anything. Like how are there zero penalties? Like I don't give a fuck if you're not gonna, because he's not like a danger to society in that sense, right? It's not like he's Daryl Brooks, right?
That's true.
He, as far as we understand it, it was a mistake. He didn't like shoot her on purpose. This wasn't him out to do anything overly dastardly, but you did still do it. I mean, that's like, oh, well, I was drunk driving and I didn't mean to hit anybody. I didn't mean to clip that person. And then, you know, when I hit them, it bounced them into another person. So they're injured too, but they didn't die. So it's okay for them. But that one person, oh, she was my friend and I hit her with my car. Well, yeah, you should probably face some kind of consequences for that. But they're like, yeah, it's Alec Baldwin and it's a mistake. And we don't want to go through with that. No, I don't care that you're a celebrity. You have to pay the piper.
I mean, and I know this is your favorite subject to talk about, but just swinging it back for a second to other people we've talked about that needed to face consequences, such as Amber Heard.
I thought you were going the other WB route.
Oh, your other favorite person, Zack Snyder?
No, the other WB route.
Oh, Ezra,
your favorite. Your favorite.
Don't even
God
fucking get me started. Don't get me fucking
well,
started.
Well, hold on.
Let's.
I'm gonna say something that's almost complimentary. Zack Snyder's assholishness. There we go. Assholishness is nowhere near the level of Ezra Miller, Amber Heard, or Alec Baldwin. And I say Alec Baldwin last because his name would be at the top of the list because he fucking killed someone and there are zero consequences as of yet. And now he's trying to get a ruling in court if he goes through with this. I mean, I assume that's the play to show that he wasn't at fault because, look, I got a sheet of paper that some jury said they were at fault. Dude, you were holding the fucking gun.
And this is the amazing thing. Because I bring up the Amber Heard thing because at the very least we could say there was fucking consequences. Her bullshit, her career is ruined. Her bullshit was brought forward. And so
I would like to believe that her career is ruined, but if she's ever actually able to pay him the money, which I don't know how it's ever going to be possible.
Yeah.
People in general, and there's a lot more people, like regular people that aren't fans of anything specifically, the way that the Johnny Depp supporters are fans of Johnny Depp. Like, there are a lot of people out there that love a comeback story.
Well, you know, I got to be honest with you. Because of how much of a cunt she is,
she's gonna have to reform her life and the way that she operates. Like, she would actually have to get some real help up here.
Oh yeah, that's without a doubt. Like, she needs some fucking
there's
therapy.
I'd say that she's got a screw loose, but all of the screws are missing.
They're all loose, and it's amazing because then you take a look at that. And for as much as I hate her and I hate Ezra, still Baldwin is worse to me because he fucking killed somebody.
Easily.
He killed someone and he's going to get away with it. And you can come at me and go, it's an accident, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. He pulled the trigger on an unsafe weapon.
And I don't think it would be, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll use a Peter Griffin phrase. I don't think it would grind my gears if he would have any kind of remorse. But he doesn't. He doesn't believe that he's at fault. He doesn't think that he did anything wrong. I was like, you pointed a weapon at somebody, you pulled the hammer back, and then you killed them.
Look, if he gave an interview, even with me knowing Alec Baldwin and his track record of just being a dickhead in general, and keep in mind, folks, before you go out there and try to defend this man, this is the same person who berated his fucking daughters, has done shitty things to people. His whole entire career has been shitty to his wives, because he's been married, a couple
Like,
times,
I thought it was like 4.
4 at least, and he's treated them all like shit. So
I mean,
this is not a good man to begin with.
he's been with this one for a while, but not like anywhere close to what you would consider most of his life.
I mean, Sean, I do agree with you. Like, no, what she did,
Amber Heard
and
doesn't deserve a comeback after the terrible things she did to Johnny. In my opinion, she almost killed Johnny with the finger incident. Yes, there should have been consequences for that. But
100%.
somebody in the hold on. Somebody in the equation is too nice of a person. Because you could have a civil thing having to do with your finger being hurt. Like, I had to go to the hospital, so I'm gonna sue you for this. But he's like, fuck it, just take care of it. Just take care of it. Just take care of it.
Like,
I don't want to deal with this. Like, he doesn't want to deal with stuff. He barely wanted to do the trial that he had.
And she was lucky that
he left the country when the ruling came out, saying, oh, well, I already had a pre-scheduled thing in the UK. I was like, okay, when was it fucking scheduled? In 1984? Because you knew very long ahead when the verdict was going to be read out.
And I can understand that feeling of wanting to get shit done and over with, but I agree with one thing what Sean B says. Like, for something like that, like, to me, I would have, and maybe you call me petty or whatever, but I'm sure no one who's on our channel is going to say this, but I would have fucking took that bitch for every fucking PB, am I wrong? If that was me or you in that situation, I would have took her
my finger off. You cut my finger
everything. Everything. I would have got her for criminal charges. I would have told my legal team, look, get her on every fucking thing. If we can get this bitch on jaywalking, get her on every fucking thing we can possibly do. And with the Me Too bullshit and how they immediately threw the guy under the bus, right? I would have been on media sites and being like, hey, look at this bullshit, right? I was innocent. They put me through the fucking ringer, and now there's a verdict saying I'm innocent. And what are we doing about Amber? So now you're justifying it's okay for this for someone who's an abuser, proven now, to be working in movies. I thought Hollywood was against that. I would have had her fucking blackballed and every fucking possible.
No. They're against white straight males abusing people.
I mean, so yeah, I do agree.
Which is why Ezra Miller became a they. Because then they're like, well, how could he be straight if he's not a man?
Fucking Ezra.
Because he's nothing. Get that? He's a nothing.
But see,
I can't believe they allowed somebody like that to be such an iconic character. God damn it, WB.
But what we're saying is that even with the fucked up shit Amber did, she didn't kill him. Even if it's
she didn't kill nobody.
Even if she could have or whatever, she didn't kill anybody. Alec Baldwin did. He took somebody's life.
Like, the cumulative effect of what somebody can do does add up to a lot, but the simple fact of the matter is Helena Hutchins is dead and Johnny Depp's alive, so Alec Baldwin's worse.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And, it's to say this is a statement when we bring these topics up to all these fucked up people. I mean, Ezra Miller, you got going around fucking strangling women, and that motherfucker's still not off the Flash. so it's like,
not yet.
But I have hopes in Big Dick Dave. But yeah, I mean, it's.
I don't know if he did, Sean. I don't know.
I don't know if he did
I
either.
don't follow it closely enough.
I'm sorry that insensitive to say being a victim of survivor is hell on earth. The abuser destroys you mentally before physically. Going to the police is a terrifying thing. And yes, she has.
You know what? Yeah, that is all of that is terrible. But
Yeah, all of that.
you're alive to feel it.
Yeah,
I
all of
mean,
that is.
maybe you don't want to be.
I mean, yeah. See, and this is the thing when you're doing these things. It's that uh, these people, the running theme here is it's not a contest. All three of these people, to me, are like, you know how they say they have the Trinity in Justice League, right? You have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Our Trinity on this channel of shitty people is Alec Baldwin, Ezra Miller, and Amber Heard. They're all shitty, but they're shitty in very unique ways. And we could say the same thing, Carrie, about Ezra,
The
because he's
shitty,
abused people,
the
he's
shitty.
strangled women, robbed them, fucking
Well, I mean, he's one of
grooming
those
that
people
girl.
that you're like, okay, here's the list of dastardly things that he's done. What did we miss? What wasn't reported? What what's something where he, I don't know, choked a fucking hooker and was like, ah, I left her an extra 50, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, half of these stars, we don't even know the other shit that they were doing. But here's the problem that I have, Carrie, with him even over Amber is that Amber Heard's pretty upfront about her narcissism and just not giving a shit. You can see that that's apparent. But the thing that gets me about Alec Baldwin is that it's very scary sociopathic behavior, okay? Because what are the common traits for sociopaths? He has
I
no
don't know.
empathy.
I'm
He
not
has
that
no
kind of doctor.
Well, Dr. PB, Dr. Zod is in. He
No,
has
no, no, no. I'm a doctor like Dr. Phil. I just tell you how you're fucking up. I'm
he
talking to you, Zach.
he has, like, think about it, and we've done this with Amber too, but they're along the same scale. The difference is though is that Alec doesn't realize that he's a piece of shit. He literally, just think about this. He literally took someone's life. And don't get me wrong, we're not at Alec Baldwin's house. We don't know what he's feeling behind the scenes, but up front, it just strikes me as odd that any other. Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you 100%. You know how I feel about Ezra Miller
100%
on this
Carrie.
channel. Yeah, yeah, I think we all feel the same way. But with Alec, it's different because he genuinely. And looking in his interviews, and we've seen everything, PB. We've been following this for a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
He
From the
doesn't give
beginning, from the very beginning.
and he doesn't give a shit. There's no sign. Like, there's fake tears, good job, but
She was my friend.
she, it was like, it was worse to me than watching Amber conjure fake tears. It was on that
Did
level.
she did she get the fake tears? I thought she
Oh yeah, and that
Vaseline.
one woman when she was like, I was so sad, and Jay came in a rage, that
Okay, well,
bullshit.
just so we're clear, what you did just there was more believable than everything that she did.
I was like, I represent you. I could have done a fucking better job. Like, Jesus Christ, she didn't make the lawyers' jobs easier. But I mean, with
What now?
him, it's just you're talking about somebody's life, and I don't believe that you feel bad about taking a human being's life. And this is, yeah, yes, exactly. Alec thinks he's above everyone else. He's too famous to face the same consequence as regular Joes. Alec shits out both ends, and it's time he's flushed like any turd. That woman deserves justice. Her family do. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. That is right on the mark, Carrie, right on. And it says Amber didn't get a fake tear to New York Post, but put a tear on. Yeah, I remember that. Put a tear on her face for that picture. Yep, that was hilarious watching them fucking realize dude. I mean, come on, you're an actress. How do you like Photoshop a picture to get a tear, PB? Like, I mean, come on. Even you and me, we put in a little bit of
They
feisty.
photoshopped her entire body for Aquaman. Nobody
Oh
knows
yeah.
that that's Amber Heard.
No, I refuse to believe it. But back to this piece of shit. So Alec Baldwin's lawsuit against specific crew members of the Rust movie has been deemed a risky strategy by lawyers across. We're deeming it a risky strategy, and neither of us have a fucking law degree. That's
You know what else
common
is
sense.
You know what else is a risky strategy? Trying to scroll with the fucking mouse.
I know you love when I do that. In October 2021, a prop gun that Baldwin was holding discharged. No, he cocked it back. You got your facts wrong. Come on.
No, it discharged. That's discharge. You don't have to necessarily pull the trigger to discharge a weapon. That's what I've been trying to say since the very beginning, because that's what I figured happened, and I was right.
Which resulted in the death of the movie's cinematographer, Helena Hutchins, on October 5th, 2022. Baldwin reached an undisclosed settlement with the Hutchins family, who had filed a wrongful death suit against the actor, which I wouldn't have reached a settlement with that piece of shit. I would have hit him for every fucking thing I possibly could. Now, Baldwin is launching his own legal action against a number of crew members that he alleges was involved in the incident on the Rust set
How the fuck
in
did you
New
get the
Mexico.
word crew members in there? How did that happen? You turn the word people into crew members?
Yeah, I'm still in Star
Okay.
Wars mode.
What's up, Deplander?
What's
See
up,
this name? That's a
Deplander?
cool name. I like it.
I like that. That's really awesome. And I like the logo, too. It's pretty bitchin'. Yeah, but
Because
so
it makes me think of like Johnny Depp being Homelander.
or Highlander. There can only be one now, matey.
There can only be one Johnny.
Now Baldwin is launching his own legal actions against a number of
No,
people.
against a number of crew members.
Crew members he alleges were involved in the incident on the Rust set in New Mexico. In court documents obtained by Newsweek, the suit mentions the film's armorer who, okay, I hate to say this, that is actually a good person to levy a suit against, but it shouldn't be done by Alec Baldwin. The thought of this motherfucker getting any kind of
Right?
settlement.
He's like, I had to pay money to these people. You owe me this money. Like, you only care about the money, guy. You fucking killed someone.
And he's suing. And
Sitting here being
speaking
concerned about fucking money.
speaking of which, if you guys remember, I did a story because I love Nick Cage. Love you, Nick Cage. Me and Bitchy just saw next year's #1 movie so far called The Old Ways. And if you remember my
The
story I
old
brought up,
ways. I don't
Hannah
remember. I forgot it.
Hannah
Please.
Gutierrez was on the set of The Old Ways as the armorer there. And the fucking legend, the man himself, Nicolas motherfucking Cage, recognized the name. And remember, he did that quote as to say that he had actually kicked her off the set because one of the guns had fired, or someone had fired a gun like close to his proximity, and he couldn't hear for a bit. And she wasn't managing the weapons on that set. So they had kicked her off of that set. So fucking Nicolas Cage, the man, the myth, the legend, a fucking hero to the fandom zone, knew enough to not have this bitch do his safety on his movie. And that is an independent movie on an independent set. And Nick Cage himself said, nah, this bitch ain't safe. Get her off or I walk.
Okay,
And you know
so
who's
then.
not in the credits of that movie?
Oh my god.
Hannah Gutierrez. Read.
Apparently, Deplander used to have a different name. Who did you used to be, Deplander? Because
Yeah,
this, like she said, this is my new channel name from Just Call Me Hen. Okay, so I don't know who you were over there. Tell me who you used to be, so then I know who I'm talking to. That was like when Rose Matter showed up with a different name. We were all like, "Hey, you have a picture of somebody on your profile. It looks familiar, but I don't know the name. You steal her picture? No, it's me." I was like, "Oh shit."
the first assistant director, Dave Halls, the crew member in charge of props, Sarah Zachary, and Seth Kenny, who is described as the primary supplier of guns on set. Well, why
You're
are you
gonna
using
try and go
them?
after.
The supplier? What a
Ah,
dickhead! What a piece
ah,
of
you
shit!
sold ammo to my person. Okay,
Like,
yes I did. I sold her an extra box too because it was special shells. You fuck pie.
oh, justice for Deb Soldier. Yep, I know you.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
The
Eh,
old JFD. Oh, now it made me
uh,
think of JDF now.
oh.
I move the letters around. Fucking Mad Libs, you bastards. Anyway, carry on with this fucking bastard.
Zod loves.
Zod loves Nick Cage. No way.
Yeah, true story. I might finish off the night with a special trailer for everyone, so you can get
Ooh,
hyped.
I like trailers.
In the documents for the attorney Baldwin, Luke Nikias and
Sure.
Quinn Emanuel said that this tragedy occurred on a movie set, not a gun range, not a battlefield, not a location. That's the guy. I guess those are the suppliers. Like, no, that makes sense. Where even a remote possibility should exist that the gun would contain live ammunition. What a boss! I like these guys. Like, yeah, fuck you, Baldwin. He went on uh, to list the alleged faults of each aforementioned crew members. Nick is suggest
No, that you
Baldwin.
mispronounced that word. That word's supposed to be people.
sorry, people. Baldwin has been wrongfully viewed as the perpetrator. Oh my God, fuck you. Okay, you were doing good until you had to.
Fuck
Jesus
you,
Christ.
MSN. What do you mean false? Like, are they gonna say that he wasn't holding the gun?
It,
No, they're not going to. They're gonna talk in platitudes again. Continue.
and seeks to clear his name and hold cross defendants accountable for their misconduct. Only the biggest one is not going to be fucking held accountable. Baldwin himself spoke out on the lawsuit on Twitter, of course, on Sunday. He suggested that while the crew members have no responsibility for the safety of the prop guns on set, others on a movie set do. Oh, like the lead actor who's also the director and every other fucking title you can be in a movie. That guy too. Does he hold responsibility, Baldwin? Or no, he doesn't because he's Alec Baldwin, right?
Zod,
What
make sure you have a tissue ready for the dribble if trailer has Nick Cage.
a were were reports filed
That was a
by
gay joke, Kerry. It's hilarious.
the arbor or AD or prop debt citing any cast for safety violations in loading of and safety checks for the weapons. No, we did what we always did. Baldwin continued. The cast has no responsibility to guarantee the prop weapons are safe. That is exactly why you have an armor, or you do the responsible thing and check the weapon yourself, like every other actor that's come out and said, "Yeah, we check."
Yeah, pretty much every other human on the planet should be checking their weapons before they decide to pull the trigger in any direction.
Newsweek spoke with the three
Or
legal experts.
decide to cock the gun. He didn't pull the trigger. I didn't pull the trigger. Okay, you murdered her.
Experts decided to get their take on the suit and what Baldwin stands to gain from this action. This case is for the Court of Public Opinion. Criminal defense attorney at Swartz Defense, David M. Swartz, told Newsweek. Public figures like Alec Baldwin will use the court proceedings. You said it. Oh my God! In order to enhance their claim that they had no idea. Yep, you called it. It was just to
No
get that
way.
piece of paper. Yep. Yeah. So I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm fucking done. Yeah. So the highlight is this piece of shit is gonna hold everybody else accountable.
He's gonna
for
try to.
He's gonna try to hold everybody responsible except for the person who fired the gun and murdered someone is going to get off scot-free. And he's going to get off scot-free because he settled that. And no criminal charges as of yet are being brought up against him, and they're ruining an accident. PB, go ahead. I don't even know what to say. This boggles my fucking mind.
Go ahead and what? Like, we talked about it for 25 minutes before you even started reading the article.
Like, this is
we didn't misfire, unlike Alec Baldwin.
It was witnesses on some hallucinating drug, or is he claiming he has a clone? Alec, you ain't that good of acting that people will believe you're innocent.
Right?
Yeah,
that's
he's
going
been
to take
given
a monumental effort. He'd have to be a Skarsgård.
Yeah, and he's no Skarsgård. We've given this piece of shit so many chances for every fuck up he's done, and this one he just happened to kill someone, and it baffles my mind that there's gonna be no justice for this, and this piece of shit is going to sue and try to take the focus off of what he did so he can kind of feel better and be like, see, it isn't my fault. This one and that one did it, and I had nothing to do with it, even though I held the gun that got discharged. And I didn't pull the trigger. I'm innocent. Like, fuck you. Fuck the family pictures you take. Fuck your condescending cunt wife who takes those pictures so that they can get this fucking sympathy. Fuck the whole Baldwin family. I fucking hate everything that they stand for. Not the kids. The kids are innocent in this. I don't blame them that they have pieces of shit for parents. But highlight fuck them. I will never watch anything with Baldwin in it. I refuse. I will not go and see a Baldwin movie unless PB is in it.
Hey, I can take over for it. Just got to work on my Trump impression.
Before Mr. PB goes to that starship in the sky, let's get a little bit of a trailer.
Starship.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the only article?
Huh?
I thought you had another article.
No, I'm just gonna kind of skip that because I don't know if I want to go on a rant about it's a George R. Martin article. Do you want to hear me rant about that, PB?
Maybe.
Okay, so I'll do it real quick.
We'll do the short version. You're welcome, everybody.
So, if you guys know me, you know I'm actually reading the Game of Thrones books, and I've many occasions talked about George's lack of enthusiasm. So, PB, did you know George R.R. Martin says he may return to writing Game of Thrones with turtles?
Like what? He's got pet turtles?
The fucking Ninja Turtles.
Oh. What?
So let's read. This is a short article. Yeah, this is the level of bullshit, people. George. All I want you to do is fucking finish the last 2 books before you die. That's all. But George is like, nah. I'm gonna start writing Ninja Turtles comics based in the Game of Thrones world. George, are you fucking trolling me, George? Okay, PB, you asked for this. I'm going full fucking screen for this one. You knew the rant was coming. Motherfucker, are you trolling me? Is this a game to you, George? Is this a fucking game to you? I've been waiting patiently here. I pre-ordered both your fucking books, George. I've been sitting patiently waiting, George, for you to finish this fucking story. And the world's biggest troll, fuck any troll you've ever heard of, okay? It's official. The world's biggest fucking troll is George R.R. Martin, because this motherfucker has been trolling us for like 10 years on this fucking book. George, what's the do you not have an ending? Is your publisher out? Do you need cover art? I'll get you someone who can draw you the cover art, George. I'll do it. Zod's here for you, okay? George, what do you need? What do you need? Do you need some help? Do you need some idea? We got great ideas in the Phantom Zone. We told D&D how to make the show better, and they didn't fucking listen to us. Apparently, nobody else. Okay, George. But we tried. We tried to save the show, George. So buddy, pal, what the fuck? Can you please fucking finish your book? Okay. I've been sitting here fucking long enough. No, George. No, I don't want a Game of Thrones stories with the fucking Ninja Turtles. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I love the Ninja Turtles, all right? But I don't want to see the Lannisters versus the fucking Turtles. All I want is the last two goddamn books. Is that too fucking much to ask? Is that too much for me to ask to finish this fucking series? Did Tolkien take this long? Could you fucking imagine if Tolkien had waited to release the fucking Return of the King and he just sat with the fucking Two Towers and the Lord of the Rings and just said, okay, people, it's going to be like 30 years before I get to the fucking concluding chapter. Come on, George, no one does this. Even Stephen King makes a book about fucking plants when he's bored. And I can't get you to finish 2 fucking books in your series you started 10 or 20 fucking years ago, George. You were young and now you're fat and old. Can you please finish this story?
No.
God damn, I mean...
He likes stringing you bastards along.
She said, I've given off static. Fine, ignore me. I'll be home with your monster eventually, and you'll pay attention to me to get it. I mean, who says it was the monster I was trying? Anyways, let's go to this bullshit. So, PB, what do you think about George wanting to return to the world of the Ninja Turtles? Because, God, why would you want to finish your fucking story you started 20 years ago? Bullshit, right? Oh, no. Have we lost a PB? Have we lost him? PB! PB, speak to me!
Yeah,
speak
what's
to
up?
me! Like, what do you think of George doing everything but his fucking story?
I think that he needs to, like, maybe cut back a hair on the trolling.
He's the world's greatest troll. So on a podcast, just to cut this short so that we could do the trailer and, you could get ready to hunt Bambi. Filmmaker Kevin Smith did a special event with George R.R. Martin called Curious George, an evening with George R.R. Martin and Kevin Smith, which, good for Kevin. I like that whole Curious George angle. It was during a panel with Martin and Smith that the former jokingly recalled he began writing the first Game of Thrones books while dealing with some harrowing deaths of his pet turtles. In a fascinating anecdote, Martin reveals how his fantasy imagination began as young as 5, and we'll never see him fucking finish. That 5-year-old boy will never finish his fucking story. When he was poor and spent his days playing with his pet turtles, which led to him first conjuring the world of Game of Thrones. Yeah, this is all about, he lived poor. Okay, don't care about that. The thing about dime store turtles, though, is that they die pretty easily, George continued. They only cost 15 cents, something like that, and they gave you the turtle food to feed them. I don't know if it was the healthiest food, and like in a month later, they'd be dead. So, what did George R. R. Martin do with the tragedy of his beloved pets dying? He turned it into a violent medieval social political fantasy, of course. But I was very upset that my turtles kept dying, and then I said, well, why are they dying? I'm giving them turtle food, they have water, and I decided they were killing each other to compete for the Turtle Throne, Martin revealed. So the first Game of Thrones was about turtles killing each other and stabbing each other, and I started writing stories about it too. So Turtle Castle is a precursor that I may return to one of these days. It'll be like Game of Thrones, but with turtles. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't even have the words to say. George, just please, George, finish Game of Thrones, okay? I don't want to hear about the turtle Game of Thrones. Like, PB, would you be interested in the turtle Game of Thrones?
How many cousins are touching each other? 0? Of course I would not be interested in it. Who would be interested in that? It's just a show with a beginning.
Fucking turtle. You know, at this point, I really feel like he is fucking trolling us. He's got to be. I can't. I can't, George. I can't do it anymore, George. Just please, for fuck's sake, finish the fucking book. That's all I want. That's all I want. It's been a shitty end of the year. George, you know what would make my year better? Is if you just fucking finished your book. Okay, we're going to share this trailer and then I'll be done. God damn it. PB, you made me do this.
I made you do what?
You made me read that bullshit and get even more pissed off that George is fucking trolling us.
Oh, you're
fucking
welcome.
Turtle Game of Thrones. Here we go. This is going to be my most anticipated film of 2023.
I want you to understand how good a woman your mama was. She took Colton Briggs, the coldest killer that I've ever met, and she turned him into
my
a family
God.
man.
My mama's dead now.
Holy fuck.
Coming in one way or another.
Like, dude, this is so epic. Like, and Nicolas Cage with a stash, it just works.
Tell me the names of the men who did this.
Oh my God!
That
Like
little
that,
girl is
dude. That voice right there. That voice. He's got that like gruff. Where he's like, "Tell me the names of the men who did it." I was like, "Oh shit! This is like John Wick, but in the olden days."
alive. There's no
But it
room
gets-
for vengeance.
He takes his daughter, dude. He's taking his daughter
Protecting a killer.
on a
From another
revenge
killer.
quest.
Can you teach me how to shoot?
Oh my God!
Both of you put your hands behind your back.
I'm gonna take my daughter to see this and be like, "Hey, we're gonna go on an old West revenge quest." Carrie says, "Zod needs a box of tissues for less than a 2-minute trailer." Yeah, this is my most anticipated film of 2023. If you're curious, I finally have one movie to look forward to in 2023.
Briggs,
Especially that Rossi.
Your father wants you done.
I'll blow her brains all over this valley.
You ain't scared of nothing.
Ooh,
Briggs decides he's coming. Oh, Briggs is coming.
Sound like he's the one who's scared.
My whole life, I'd seen fear in the eyes of every man I ever met.
oh my God!
Let's do this the old way.
Is my father still a good man?
Like, I want the soundtrack.
You boys woke up the devil.
I want this soundtrack. I want that poster. Oh my God, that was the greatest 2-minute trailer that has ever trailered. So I wanted to end on a happy note. Nicolas Cage and the old ways. Hey, PB,
Yeah.
we're getting ready to do the outro, buddy.
Oh.
That trailer was so riveted that PB was floored. Did you see him look it up just thinking about how awesome that movie looked?
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be epic. Almost as epic as the colors at moviepalette.com.
Oh my god, how epic are they?
Oh, they take the major colors from every scene in a movie and they slap them onto a wonderful canvas that you can hang on your wall right behind you there.
Ooh,
And then
so
you can have all of those memories that are connected with that film and pick them out on the palette.
Oh, well, are there any deals that they're offering?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. In fact, there is one, and it's the best one that there is. You put in code Zone 15, and you can save 15% on top of the sales that they already have. And support your favorite villain.
Well, I'm gonna go and check it out because I need me a movie palette for the old ways coming out in 2023.
Don't ruin this. You didn't even put up the one that you already got on the wall yet.
Oh, I did. I put it by my Nick Cage shrine. Hold on.
Oh. Why is it with the Nick Cage shrine?
Because it's National Treasure 2.
Seems like a treasure.
It most certainly is. So, Gary says, this is cringe, yet funny. That's all we know how to do over here. Not so much.
The advertisement or the trailer? You're talking about us?
Definitely us.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, so I can't wait. The old ways coming out. My boy Nick Cage being a badass, as Nick Cage does. And you guys are definitely going to get a review on it, because I review every single fucking piece of media Nick Cage is in. I mean, you could say I have a bias, but film's subjective, so, whatever, fuck off. Anyways, we're going to wrap this up. We went a good 2 hours. She said yes, talking about you two. Thank you. We have high standards here in the fandom zone.
Oh, you morphed into a teenage girl. I missed that one.
Oh yeah, dude, I was like, ooh, look at him shoot people. And man, I like the idea of him taking this, you little girl on this adventure with him. It's his daughter, but teaching her how to shoot, and them having this little I don't know, kind of both of them on a revenge plot. So the daughter is getting revenge, and so is the father. I think if they do it well, they can kind of bring an ethical question, because really, when you go on your revenge mission, you shouldn't bring your daughter with you. But Zod would do it. Fuck yeah, let's get some revenge, motherfucker.
Lemon Pie, thanks for being here. I need you to send me a picture of yourself so I can send it to Carmen. She wants to see what the pie looks like. And the gif I sent her of somebody cutting into a piece of lemon pie was not amusing, even though I laughed my ass off.
I gotta be honest, that's actually pretty amusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was uncomfortable viewing Zod watching the trailer. You spared yourself that image. I watched the trailer.
So let's get the non-biased opinion here, because we know PB's pretty much, well, Nick Cage isn't one of his biases. So what did you think of the trailer? Does it look like something you'd check out?
Yeah, it does look like something that I would check out. I don't know if it looks like something that I would pay to see in the theater.
Oh, you already know where I'm seeing when this motherfucker comes out. I'm seeing it at least 3 times in the same day.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna be like, so, new Nick Cage is coming out. When's the pre-screening? They're going to say, well, we're not doing a pre-screening for this one. You'll be like, Wednesday night it is.
Yeah, because they do that with some
Glad
movies
we
that,
agree. I don't give a fuck if you're going to be here. I know how to start the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can operate the projectors. I'd be like, look, don't fuck with me. Everybody knows my unhealthy obsession with Nick Cage. Zod, would you watch Nick Cage? Zod, would you watch it if Nick Cage wasn't in it? Yeah, I like the premise. I do like the premise of the movie. I like the idea of because to my knowledge, I haven't seen a movie where the revenge is being acted out by both the adult and kid,
Well,
and the
I'm
adult
just
is taking
glad
the
in
kid.
that movie, I'm glad that they could hire somebody that has an unbearable weight of massive talent.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Talent is massive, and it must be an unbearable weight.
Don't skip leg day, folks.
I think the actress who plays the little girl is pretty convincing. That face that she had on, where she was just like no fucks given, and she just like walks up there with the shotgun that's fucking bigger than her and kicks that guy in his wounded leg. I was like, oh, okay. Nick Cage has got a little badass daughter in this movie. I like it. I like that kind of general direction. I'll be honest, in westerns, I haven't seen one like that. I might be forgetting something. I've seen a lot of movies, but nothing really stands out where you have a revenge tale with both the father and child involved. The only thing I could think of was Road to Perdition, but they were on the run, not trying to get revenge until the end when he had no choice. So, like, even that, this is like Nick Cage is like, yeah, I'm gonna kill some people, and she's like, teach me how to shoot. He's like, sure, can you help me?
Sure.
Like, yeah, sure. Let's practice. Like, so I like the premise too. I just don't like a Nick Cage movie just because Nick Cage isn't. Don't get me wrong, that's 90% of me going to see it. But there is that 10% that would like a little bit of substance, story to it. Nick Cage just adds like 90% of my viewing joy. Even in the
That's a
worst
fact.
movies. Even in the worst movies, I think we can all agree. Even in the worst movies, Nick Cage acts his ass off. I mean, come on, Ghost Rider. That ain't exactly winning any awards, but it's a fun as shit movie to watch. I love that movie. It's like one of my guilty pleasures. Like, I know it's bad. The CGI is terrible. The acting is terrible. But Nick Cage as a fucking motocross stunt rider and his CGI abs. Because, I mean, come on, Nick. You didn't have them abs. I'm sorry. Like, that was definitely like some 300 magic. Are you able to control yourself, Zod, or will be scary movie
He's not.
reaction where you end up stuck to the ceiling? Well, you're gonna have to see my review because you know I'm gonna make a review on it. I might do a Nick Cage like movie series and just go through every single Nick Cage movie and my rating and why I love it so much. I don't think he's made a movie that I don't particularly like, to be honest with you. I have to really dig deep. I don't think there's one Nick Cage movie I didn't get some kind of enjoyment. I like Ghost Rider 2 more as far as a story and aesthetics, but I like 1 for its cheesiness and kind of it really embraces that time period where they were doing the not so serious superhero movies. So I think they both have their own kind of place in the superhero things. I do think it's hilarious in Ghost Rider 2 where he's pissing fire. That is fucking hilarious scene. Um, I think that MCU, if you're smart, please fucking get Nick Cage back. What are you doing? He would 100% be Ghost Rider again. I'd like to see that Zod, a Nick Cage movie review series from you. Oh, for you, Lemon Pie, and because it would be awesome to do. I may start. Maybe I'll work backwards and start with his newer movies and go down the line. One of my favorite movies of his of all time would have to be Vampire's Kiss. That movie is fucking hilarious. 90% of that movie was ad-libbed. I fucking love it. But the bear is going into hibernation. So I've got to say adieu to you guys. Anything you want to promote, PB, besides shooting woodland creatures? Well, yeah, I would like to promote Zod. He is the greatest content creator I have the pleasure of working with. And yeah, Orange is the shit. And I'll see y'all later. Good stuff, PB. Good stuff.
Don't forget to kneel.
Yeah.